Welcome if you're new here, welcome back if you're not. My name is Kenzie, this is my book channel, and I know we need to address the elephant in the room. The hair. The hair is very different from the last, when you guys saw me last. So, basically, I mean, it's not a big deal, this is what I wanted, but anyway. So, last night, my friend came over and bleached my hair, because I had asked her to, because I kind of want to go back to blonde, and then, as I point to blue, but I want to go back to blonde, so that way, you know, whenever I want to dye my hair, I can just do semi-permanent, and it'll come out really easily. But last night when we did the bleaching, it turned very yellowy. Like, I pull red really bad, so it was very coppery, very yellowy, and I was just not happy with the color, but happy with the results, if that makes any sense. Because my whole plan for that was not have the same color hair as when I woke up yesterday, which happened, and be light enough to do whatever color I want. So that ended up happening, but we used a very, very strong developer. We used 30 volume, which is like very strong, and I don't really want to put a permanent dye on or do a toner or anything that was going to take developer and risk damaging my hair more than I already did because of bleaching it. So today, one of the first things I did when I woke up was dyed it blue with a semi-permanent, so it'll come out through washes, and semi-permanents are not damaging because they don't take developer, so that is why my hair is now blue. And honestly, I'm not mad about it. This is the most blue I've ever gotten my hair to go. Like, typically it turns into like a seafoam green. But the ladies at Sally's were like, hey, like, semi-permanents can be put on longer because they don't take developer. They're not damaging whatsoever. So I ended up putting, I think I had it on for maybe an hour. And the bottle said 30 minutes, but I think I had it on for maybe an hour. And it came out exactly how I wanted it to. So a win is a win. So that is what's going on here. So if you're like, oh my gosh, why is her hair different all of a sudden? This is why. But anyway, now that I took 3 minutes to explain that, we are doing my 26 books of 26, the books that I want to try and focus on the most this year, the books that when I'm doing my monthly TBR picking, those are the ones I'm going to try and grab the most, the ones I'm going to try to like think of if they fit the prompt or not. If that's what I end up doing that month, I do whatever. Point is, these are the books I want to try and focus on this year. I have 26. Some of these are series, and that's okay. I'm counting the series as one because like some of these series are super long and would take forever to, okay, well, not forever to read, but they're just super long and not something I could just read in like one day. So I'm counting all of my series as one book. Where'd my phone go? There it is. And yeah, so like I said, series as one book. On my phone here, I have a list of books that I really want to read, but I don't have them physically because they're either not out yet, I don't have the physical copy yet, or I have it as an ebook, so like Kindle, Google, whatever. So we're going to start with, do you want to start with this or do you want to start with the physical? Let's just start with the physical. Oh, yes, I actually do need to start with the physical. Come to think of it, because a couple of these books. Okay, we're going to start with the physical. So first off, and you're probably going to recognize some of these from my 10 Before the End video. And obviously, since they're in this video, I did not get to them before the end. I honestly did not get to a whole lot of my 10 Before the End books. I think I got to 3, maybe 4, if that. I don't know. But the very first book series I really want to get to this year is Harry Potter. I love the movie series. I love so many of the actors, but I have not read the books ever. I've read the first one, and even then it was an audiobook, which still counts as reading. It still counts. Don't tell me it doesn't. But I haven't read the physical books before, and I really, really want to, especially because I will hear so many people be like, oh, this was in the book, but not in the movie, and I'm like, that is a good point. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't read the book, so I don't know. So I want to see what I'm missing in the books, and yeah, and just dive into the world again because I love this world. You know. Next is going to be the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I want to read this so bad. Like, years ago, when my family had Netflix, I saw it was a show on Netflix, and I think I started to watch like the first 10 minutes, and I think I had to go to work or something, and I kind of forgot about it, and then we ended up not having Netflix for a little bit, and now we have it again, and I have it on my want to watch, but I can't watch it yet because I haven't read the book series yet, and I really want to read the book series. Plus, it's a very pretty, like, these are very pretty books. Anytime I talk about them, I'm like, do you want to see how pretty they are? They're so pretty. I can't with how pretty they are. Can you please get in? Get in the box. Okay, you know what? I will fight with that later. Stay. But yeah, I don't know much about. I should probably be saying who these books are by and what they're about, come to think of it. Okay, well, if you don't know, Harry Potter is by J.K. Rowling. It's about a boy who was like an orphan and he had to live with his aunt and uncle. And then one day, this big scary dude, or well, not big scary dude, big fluffy dude, comes in and he's like, "Hey, you are magical and you got to go to this school." And he's like, "Wait, what?" And then he goes on a bunch of adventures. Turns out there's a prophecy about him. He now has to defeat some evil dark lord. Why did I say it like that? I was like, look, this evil dark lord. So it's a whole ordeal. But there's technically a found family trope in there, and I love me a good found family. And then for Shadow and Bone, I know nothing about this. I'm assuming it has something to do with the deer here. But this is by Leigh Bardugo. No clue. But I kind of like the fact that I don't know anything about it, because when I don't know something about it, it's like, okay, no matter what, I'm going to be surprised. But if I do know something about it, it's like, okay, how surprised am I really going to be? Alright, okay, we're going to take a break from the series. Well, not the series, but like groups of series right now, because the next group of series is under books, and I don't want to have to dig them out right now. Next is King of Envy by Anna Huang. This is the 5th book in the Kings of Sin series. I absolutely love this series, and I love her writing, and I just really want to read this. Plus, look how pretty it is. I would love to do my nails that color one day. Like, they're so pretty. But this is a book about Vuk and Ayana. We don't know too much about Ayana other than the fact that she's a, very well-known model. And Vuk is like this billionaire. He's typically very quiet. Whenever we've heard of him in past books, it's always, oh, he's just grunting or something. But I really want to read this book and learn more about Vuk specifically. Because I'm not gonna lie, first couple times I read about him, I was like, is he a robot? Like, is this going to be the random twist that we find out? Is that he's a robot? No, he's a human. At least I'm pretty sure he's a human. I don't know. We shall see after I read this. But I really want to see how he is in this book and see him kind of more humanized and see him act as a human. But yeah, if you don't know what the Kings of Sin series is, it's an interconnected series. Each book follows a different couple, but they're all together. So like, King of Wrath is about Dante. This is why I need to not do these videos where I just stand here and talk, because I fail with words. King of Wrath is about Dante and Vivian, and then King of Sloth is about Sloane and Javier, but you still see those two couples like interact with each other in the other books. Like, you still see Dante and Vivian in King of Sloth. You see at least Sloane in King of Wrath. I don't remember if you meet Javier in that one or if you meet him in King of Pride. But it's kind of like TV shows that are in the same universe and sometimes coincide and do crossovers, but they don't always focus on each other at the same time, if that makes sense. Like, it's their own stories, but they're still, I mean, they're honestly with life as well. Come to think of it. Not sure why I never put that together in my brain. Anyway, so yes, very excited to read that one. Am I like anything by Anna Huang? I still need to try the Twisted series again. Maybe. We'll see. There might be a video making me read another Twisted book. You don't know yet, but you will if it ever comes out, if it exists. Anyway. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I've heard so much about this. It is about two sisters who are separated during World War II, right? World War II? Yeah. And they have to kind of figure out life now in France as it's currently being taken over by the Germans. And it's a historical fiction. So there are going to be like some history aspects. I'm guessing there are going to be like some facts about it. It's going to be somewhat factual, but it's not going to be told like facts. Like if you're sitting in history class, it's going to be told like a story, like Hamilton, like the musical Hamilton, if that makes any sense. So I am scared to read it because of how chunky she is. She is, what, 500 something pages? 564. So this will be the biggest book I've sat down and physically read, if you don't count the Bible. Which, to be fair, I haven't read the Bible all the way through. So yeah, therefore this would be the biggest book I've ever read, like physically, and is just like sitting there reading it. Because even though some of the Avatar books are bigger than this, I audiobooked and physically read them. So I was fine with those. I don't have the audiobook of this one. I could get it, but I feel like it might impact me more if I physically read it. I don't know, but I've heard amazing things about this author and this book. I've heard a lot of people cry. I'm a little scared about that because I don't, like if I'm doing it in a reading vlog or something, I don't really want to cry on camera. but we will see if that happens. So, okay, next, and this is okay, so the next two I don't know a whole lot about. I just know I really want to read them. So first is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I've heard so many great things about the series, honestly, any of her series. All I know is that there's two sisters, they have to go to Caraval. There's fantasy, there's romance, and I'm pretty sure this is a trilogy with one novella. I think, I'm pretty sure. But it's so pretty. Even before I put the little gems on it, like, it's still so pretty. Also, yes, I'm showing off my nails as much as possibly can because I just put them on. They look black on camera, but they're deep, deep blue. They're called Midnight Mantra, I think, from OPI. But yeah, they're a very deep blue. Anyway, so yes, this is one I really want to get to. I read like the first chapter as a sampler one time, as like a little free sampler on my phone, and I enjoyed the first chapter. So I'm hoping to enjoy the physical, or like the whole physical book as well. Next is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Again, I don't know much about this book or the series. I know it's fantasy. There's some dark romance aspects, so I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. Obviously, once I read it, maybe I'll learn, but yeah, again, I don't know much about this. I know I'm excited to read it, and I'm excited to be able to talk about it, because I do have a couple of friends who've already read it, and I'm like, oh, so I need to read it and talk to you about it, is what I'm hearing. So, but it just looks very, like, the cover makes it look very fun and very, like, animated. The cover looks like a fantasy cartoon I would have watched as a child, or even now at 21, honestly. So, okay, next series, and this one I'm very disappointed in myself. I was so hoping to read at least the first book last year, but that's okay. The Natural series, The Naturalist, Killer Instinct, All In, Bad Blood, and the novella 12. I've heard so many people love this series. I've read The Inheritance Games by this author, which I didn't say this author, but Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've read The Inheritance Games by her, and I really enjoyed that. I think I gave it 4 stars. And I've heard that the series in general is just really fun. It's a super easy, good time. If you don't know what the series is about, let me put some of these down, and then I'll just hold up the first one. So the Natural series is about a group of kids that the FBI recruits to help solve cold cases, and they all have like their own, not really like superpower, because they're not magical, they're not superhuman beings or anything. They're just really good at certain things. So one's really good at problem solving, one's good at math, one's good at, I don't know, something else. But I think that's just such a fun, interesting concept. And oh, did I forget a book? No, I don't think I did. Well, actually, yes, I technically did. It's fine. It'll be an honorable mention later. But anyway, it's just a fun, interesting concept. And again, I've heard these are so quick and easy to read and just very bingeable. And also, look at how freaking adorable this cover is. They have other ones where it's like, I don't know, they're kind of boring. They have like just a plain white background, and then they're like caution tape. And I don't love those covers. I like these ones a lot better with the little puzzle pieces, and it makes it more fun. Okay, next. I don't remember if I counted these ones as 1 or 2 when I was counting a few minutes ago. Okay, I counted them as 2. I didn't mean to do that. So never mind. The other book is not going to be an honorable mention. It's just going to be 1 in this video. Anyway, so next is Assistant to the Villain, this series, and Apprentice to the Villain. If you don't know what these are, basically this girl has to become an assistant to the town's villain. And she's very awkward and everything. If you've seen Arrow, the show Arrow, and you've seen how awkward Oliver and Felicity are around each other in the beginning, quite literally how she and the villain are super awkward with each other, but it's so cute. I have read a little bit of Assistant to the Villain already because one of my friends let me borrow it last year. Well, in 2024. And it was just super cute because they were super awkward with each other. But she is like the only one who knows certain little things about him, like his real name. Everyone always refers to him as the villain. That's all that they know him as. And then she's like, I know your real name. And he's like, don't you dare tell anyone. She's like, okay. But like she knows little things like how he takes his coffee because he's like this big tough villain. He's not supposed to like anything sweet, so he takes his coffee just straight black. And she's like, "Here's some cream and sugar," and he's like, thank you. This is disgusting without cream and sugar." So, but there's someone out to get the villain, and so now they have to figure out like who's out to get him, who's trying to destroy him, and all that. So there's assistant to the villain and then apprentice to the villain, and the third one is accomplice to the villain. Oh, Hannah Nicole Meyer, something like that, is who this is by. I'm so bad at that. Oh my gosh, why am I so bad at that? But yes, I'm really excited to read these. And also, look how cute these covers are. And then there's this little guy, this little frog. His name is Kingsley. He's my favorite character. He's so funny. He just holds up little one-word signs like, "Help! Run! Ah!" And he's just so funny. For a frog that can't talk, he's so funny. Oh, you're so cute. I'm talking to my cat because he's laying on my bed right now. Okay, this is the book that I forgot earlier, and then come to find out I actually do need it, which is The Last Days of Holly Hayes by Sandra J. Paul. You guys have heard me talk about this book a lot. Basically, this girl, Holly, and this guy, Dylan, they're dating. And Dylan's family are doomsday preppers, and they're on vacation. And then there's this announcement where it's like, oh, okay, it's the end of the world. And so he's immediately panicking, and he's like, okay, I know what to do, but like she doesn't know that his family are doomsday preppers. So he's now trying to save her, but also not seem crazy. And it's just a really cool concept because you can read it in almost any order and it'll still make sense. Like you could read all of Holly's story and then all of Dylan's story and it'll make sense, or you could read chapter 1 from Holly's perspective and then chapter 1 from Dylan's perspective and it'll still all make sense. So I'm very excited to read this and see what happens. All right, last for the physical books that I already have, we have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This is a very, very highly talked about, highly amped up. I'm trying to figure out what the word I'm actually trying to say is here. Yeah, I don't know. But this is a very well-known, no, still not the word I'm looking for. Popular. No, that's still not the word I'm looking for. I don't know what word I'm looking for. Anyway, this is a very popular book and book series. It is a romance fantasy, where this girl has to go to this dragon school, something like that. She doesn't really want to, but her mom's like, no, you're gonna go. And then she meets this guy. Things happen. I don't really know. I haven't read the book or the series, but I am excited to. Also, it's sprayed edges. I wasn't even looking for that when I bought this. I was just looking for the paperback, and the paperback was like $10 cheaper than the hardcover, and it came with sprayed edges. Like, how cool is that? I mean, I wouldn't say they're like the coolest sprayed edges I've ever seen, but for $10 cheaper than when you typically get like super nice books that have sprayed edges and all that, heck yeah. I thought it was pretty cool. Like, I wouldn't say I'm a super like sprayed edge girly, but I won't complain if a book has sprayed edges because they're beautiful. They add to the experience, add to the vibes. So, anyway, now I shall bring up my list on my phone. So, we're going to start with, let me stand aside so I can put pictures. So, first we're going to start with the ones that are already out, but I don't have the physical copy, which is going to be, and these are ones I have like as ebooks too. Sorry. Okay, we're going to start with the ones that I don't have the copy of because I either don't own it yet or because I have it as an ebook. There, that's the category we're in right now. Okay, so we have 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I've never read a Stephen King book, but he's a very popular author. He was most known for his horror films, but I'm not a horror girly, so I never really wanted to read any of his stuff. But 11/22/63 is actually a sci-fi / historical fiction. It's this guy has to travel back in time and stop the JFK unaliving. And so I really want to read about that. Obviously, I wasn't alive in the 60s, so I don't know too much about this. Like, I know in like history class and like hearing my dad talk about it, but I don't know a whole lot about this. So I am very, very excited to read about it and see what Stephen King came up with in his brain. So also there is currently a limited time Netflix series about it. So depending on how limited it is, I might have to watch the show first and then read the book. But either way, I'm reading the book because I so badly want to read it. There's also supposed to be a little bit of romance in it, I heard. So next is Bear Town by Frederick Bachman. This is a trilogy. I don't know a whole lot about it. I know that I read A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman. Absolutely loved it. It was 5 stars. All I know is that it's like a very big hockey town, I'm pretty sure. Something really bad happens and the town has to come together. That is all I know. But one of my favorite booktubers, Sarah Caroli, she loves this series. I think she said she's given every single book in this series 5 stars. But that's when I really hold please. Okay, we're good. Okay, next is Crown Tide by Alex Astor. I want to read this so badly. It is the 4th book in the Lightlark series. I almost said Crown Tide series. I'm like, that's not correct. But it's the 4th book in the Lightlark series. I've read Lightlark, Nightbane, and Skyshade. And after Skyshade, I texted one of my friends and I was like, I need Crown Tide right now. But yes, it is already out. I just don't have the physical copy yet. Waiting to buy that. I also need to buy the physical copy of Skyshade because I ended up listening to Skyshade. But I really need the physical copy of this and Skyshade because I already have the first 2. And I might want to read the Grimm and Oro book. I don't know yet. I'm going to let my friend read that first and tell me what she thinks. So, next is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Oh, I didn't say what Lightlark is about. Good job, Kenzie. Anyway, so Lightlark is about this island, and it appears like every 100 years. Each leader from the different realms, towns, whatever, they all have to fight. It's kind of like the Hunger Games in that sense. But they all have to fight until there's one winner. And if you win, your, like, town, world, what did I say a minute ago? Realm. Your realm's curse, because each realm has a curse, your realm's curse is broken. So that's what they're all fighting for. And so each book is just going through that a little bit. So, okay, now We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I'm going to be honest, I don't actually know what this is about. I know it's like a mystery thriller type vibe. I think it's like, and please someone correct me if I'm wrong, or editing Kenzie, correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe it's like this group of friends went on like a little vacation trip thing, one of them, and now there's lies and stories about it. I could totally be wrong. I don't know. Next is This Woven Kingdom by Chihiro Mafi. I read her Shatter Me series and I really, really liked it. And then I ended up buying the first 3 books in this series. This one I literally have no idea what it's about. But I don't know if I'm going to like it because as the Shatter Me series went on, I started to dislike them more. Which I know is a hot take because so many people are the opposite. They're like, the first one's kind of mid, and then as you go on, it gets better and better. And I'm like, I did not have that experience. And it could just be because I read all of them so close together. It could also be just because I wasn't the right demographic for it, or I don't know, something. Also, supposedly those books are good for like middle schoolers. Why is there so much spice in them if they're good for middle schoolers? Let's fix that. But yeah, I have no idea anything about this, but I do know the covers are super, super pretty. And I do want to read at least the first one, maybe the other 2 as well. I know there's a 4th book in the series, but I'm trying not to buy that one yet because I don't know if I'm going to like the series yet or not. Next is The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. I'm so late to the Freida McFadden game. I want to read this so bad because A, I love me a good thriller. There's movies on it now, so wouldn't mind. Okay, when I go like this, before anyone starts making jokes, that's not 6-7. Okay, it's not. We're leaving that in 2025. Okay, no. It's me going, I don't know. It's not me doing the stupid joke. But anyway, I've heard great things about Freida McFadden. I have heard a lot of people say that her books are very repetitive and very predictable. So maybe I'll like it. I think eventually I'll get bored with the repetitiveness, but I do like predictable books. Because then I'm like, oh, this is what's going to happen, and then it calms my anxiety. But I also like being surprised. So, anyway, and I honestly don't know too much about The Housemaid. I'm pretty sure it's like this woman who comes in as a babysitter / housekeeper. I don't know. I genuinely don't. But, yeah, Freida McFadden is honestly just an author I do want to try to get into this year. We'll see if it happens. But, yes. Next is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. This is the first book in the Boys of Tillman series. I want to read this series so bad. I've heard amazing things about it. All I know is that Binding 13 and Keeping 13 go together, but the series itself is interconnected, just like the Kings of Sin series is. So they do all coincide, but the first 2, Binding 13 and Keeping 13, those ones are about one couple, and then there are other couples in different books that we follow. And I know in the first one, there's like I'm pretty sure the girl is in a very abusive home, and then the guy love interest like bullies her, and then he finds out, oh hey, this is what her home life is like, and then I guess treats her better, maybe. I don't know. I'm 99% sure that's what happens, but I'm pretty sure it's a series about like real life events that actually happen. So it's very relatable for a lot of people, but I also know that it's more of a YA series. So typically more of like the 30s, 40s don't typically like it, but like 20s does. So I might like it. Yeah, I hope I do, because I want to understand the hype. I want to just enjoy it, you know, because I don't really, it is a romance, technically. They're a romance series, but I feel like I haven't necessarily read something like this before. So I'm hoping I like it. But the last time I read a book that was super hyped up, but not, okay, again, looking for a word, can't find the word. The last time I read a book that was super hyped up and was things that can and do happen in real life, I was very disappointed in the book and I did not enjoy it whatsoever. So that makes me a little weary of this book and book series, but I still am hoping I'm going to like it a lot more. Anyway, Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Billig. I read One Dark Window a few months ago for a video I did, and I really enjoyed it. Can I remember a thing that happened? Not really, which is annoying because I very much so enjoyed the book. I might have to reread that, honestly. Which, oh no, I have to reread a book I really liked. I know that it was fantasy. I know this girl who lived with her family and was mistreated. Like her uncle, I think it was, had something very powerful that the dark side, like the bad guys, really wanted, and she was like, no, you can't have this. That is all I remember. So, you know what? Two Twisted Crowns and One Dark Window are both ones I want to read this year, because I apparently remember nothing from One Dark Window. So that series, I want to read that series again. I think it's called like the Shepherd King duology or something like that. Something like that. Anyway, Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This is another book that I really, really want to read. Well, and book series. Obviously, that's why they're in this video. I am getting tired apparently, which isn't good because I have other videos to film tonight. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. This book series, all I know is like these two people are constantly writing letters to each other, but they don't know that's the other person. It's literally all I know. Okay, new title for this video. Kenzie talks about books she wants to read but has no idea what they are or what they're about. Or how to make a video title, apparently. Okay, next is Heartless by Elsie Silver. I read Powerless? No. Reckless? No. Flawless. I read Flawless by her a couple months ago. Again, for the same video I read One Dark Window in. I do remember more about this book. But at the time when I read that book, I was kind of over the romance. So I enjoyed it, but I think I would have enjoyed it more had I been more in the mood for romance at the time. So I do want to give this series another shot because, again, heard so many good things about the series. I do love me a good romance, contemporary romance, and interconnected standalone series, which is what this is. I don't know who this book follows, but I'm pretty sure it's one of the brothers of the main guy from Flawless. So, next is The Defender by Ana Huang. This is the second book in her Gods of Game series. It went The Striker, and then The Defender, and then The Keeper, I think is the third book. And this one is just a trilogy, apparently. So, I love Ana Huang's writing. We all know this. I've mentioned it a million times. But again, wasn't in the mood for romance at the time, but I still did rate it pretty highly because why would I rate it poorly? I loved it. I love most of her books that I've read, and I think I'm going to enjoy the rest of the series, but I do want to give it another shot. So, I don't know who this one follows. Oh, yes, I do. It follows Vincent, which is the brother of Scarlet, who was the female main character in The Striker. The Striker was about Asher Donovan and Scarlet Dubois. And then The Defender is about Vincent Dubois, and I don't remember who the female love interest is supposed to be in this one. But I do want to see more of Vincent, and I want to kind of see him more humanized and in love and everything. The If Love series by Ana Huang. This is a big one. So this was her first ever series. I believe it's 4 books. The first 2 followed the same couple, and then the other 2 don't. But I honestly just want to read all of her books, if I'm being completely honest. I follow her on TikTok. I love her TikTok videos. Anytime, okay, this is another thing I love about her. Anytime someone makes a video having to do with any of her series or her, and they tag her, she always reposts it. Always. And I love that about her. I'm like, oh, she cares about her fans. So, did I get through all of them? I did. Okay. Like the ones that are already out, but I don't have yet. Okay, now for the ones that are out. No, not out. Well, actually, never mind. These two are out. I just haven't read them yet. So, along with Harry Potter, there's another movie series that I really enjoy, but I've never read the books. And so many people are going to be disappointed in me about it. But the most recent book in this series that has come out, there's a movie adaptation for it that's coming out sometime soon. I don't remember when. And I would love to watch it. But I want to read the series first. If I can. If not, oh well. It's not like I haven't already watched the other movies in the series, and that is, you guys are going to be so disappointed in me. The Hunger Games series, and with Sunrise on the Reaping coming out soon, I want to read it so bad, and again, see what's in the books that wasn't in the movies, and honestly, just try and get to know the characters a little bit more. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to read them in chronological order when I get them, or if I'm going to get them in, or if I'm going to read them in publication order. We'll decide when I eventually get them. I do want the physical books though, because I have seen very, very pretty versions of them now, and I obviously want to get those, because why would I want ugly books? I'm kidding. Never judge a book by its cover. That goes for everything in life. Ooh, wait, should I do a video where I'm judging books based off of their covers and reading them just based off of that? That could be so much fun. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway. Next is the Throne of Glass series. I loved ACOTAR by this. Oh my gosh, I didn't even say who Hunger Games is by. Suzanne Collins. Anyway. The Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. This is a super big series, a very popular series, as well as ACOTAR, which is also by her. I read ACOTAR, loved it. I've not read Throne of Glass or Crescent City, but I've heard so many people love the Throne of Glass series. I've heard, like, what are their names? Brooklyn and Bailey. I used to love them when I was little. Well, not little, but like 12, 13. And then I recently rediscovered them, actually. And they did a video where they got matching tattoos, and it was a quote from Throne of Glass. But at the time, I didn't know what that was. All I knew was that they said, oh, this is from our favorite book series. And then recently, after Brooklyn had her baby last year, Bailey took over and just did videos of just her. And she did like little reading nook videos. And she mentioned Throne of Glass, and that's where her tattoo was from. And I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, I know what Throne of Glass is now. I just haven't read it yet. So, yes, Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas is another one I really, really want to read. I'm focusing on a lot of series this year, apparently. Okay. Now am I done with the ones that are already out I just don't have? Yes. Okay. So the last two books I really, really want to read. The first one comes out in March. I think it's March 3rd or 4th. And that is Just Friends by Haley Pham. This is her debut novel. It's a second chance, like childhood best friends to lovers romance. And I'm so excited. If you don't know who Haley Pham is, she is a YouTuber. She's married to Ryan Trahan, who's also a YouTuber and the creator of Joyride Candy. Speaking of which, I just tried their watermelon wedges the other day. So good. So good. But I discovered her YouTube channel back in summer of 2024. I think the very first video I ever saw, it was her trying to find a 5-star read. And her reaction to the book 5 Survive by Holly Jackson, her reaction made me want to read the book. So that's how I discovered Google Play sells books, sells ebooks. Didn't know that beforehand. Very glad I know now. But her reaction to that book made me want to read it, so I found it on Google. I think it was like $12 maybe. I bought it and I read it in like 2 days, and this was the fastest I'd read a book in so long, because I think at the time I was reading another book and it took me 6 months to read, and then I read this one in like 2 days, and I'm like, this is so good. And so now, thanks to that video and me reading that book, I love Holly Jackson as well. But it's also what made me get into reading more, start this booktube channel, and also watch and subscribe to Haley, who, like I said, has this book coming out. I'm so excited to read it. And then the last and final book is King of Gluttony by Anna Hong. This is the 6th book in the Kings of Sin series. Again, I don't know who this follows, but I'm very excited to read it because I love this series and I want to read more of this series. I'm going to be so sad when this series ends, but I'm going to enjoy it while it's still around. And if I have every single one of the books, I can reread them anytime, which is great. Which is so great. This one comes out, I want to say like April 28th or something like that. I could totally be wrong. But those are the only two like new releases that are on my radar for this year. So But yeah, those are all the books I want to focus on in 2026. I'm so excited. My reading goal this year is 75. I mean, I got 26 already planned out. More than that, actually, because if I'm talking about like reading every single book in the book series that I want to read, I don't feel like counting right now, so we're just not going to do that math. Editing Kenzie can handle that if she wants to. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you had an amazing and wonderful Happy New Year, and I can't wait to see what 2026 brings for our reading journey together. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Bye!